Hi colleagues, it's John Fischetti. Welcome to episode 3 of We Will Get Through This, Transformative Leadership in Disruptive Times. Today's episode is about transformational change in your schools, and Scott and I will use a metaphor related to the Apollo missions of the US in the 1960s that went to the moon. In order to get to the moon, creative thinking had to happen about how to get into and out of Earth orbit, and likewise from the moon to get home. We hope this video will help you think through, as we get past this COVID reality, how you can guide your schools to really focus on learning, teaching, and assessment in new ways. Give us your feedback. Please know we're here to support you, and please know we will get through this. Hi, good day, colleagues. It's a pleasure to see you today. And I've got a weird idea for you. I'd like to talk to myself talking to you about school transformation. I've read all the literature on school and leadership and transformation that's related to understanding change and this concept of really transforming our learning environments into special places that every child can have a great life and our schools can reflect the opportunities to provide a wonderful education for them. So in doing so, I think we've been caught in the notion of transformation in a way that doesn't really appeal to me, and now I've changed my mind. I've transformed my opinion of transformation. And it's come to me that the problem is we've thought of transformation as a one-off, shot way out into the galaxy. And if we get it right, it's great. If we get it wrong, well, I'm a little worried about that because we're getting wrong for our young people. I'm also worried because I don't want to get all sticky in the transformation process from caterpillar to butterfly. It's all messy when you wrap yourself in a cocoon and you got to wait too long. I don't really want to do that, right? Let's not go hide in a cave. I'd like to be a participant in this process. But I've got a different twist I want to show you. Back in the 60s, when President John Kennedy in the US announced that the US would be the first to land on the moon, he empowered a whole generation of people, including physicists and astrophysicists and all the NASA experts, to design a way we might actually get to the moon and back. Because the key wasn't just getting there, it was actually getting back. And at the time, there was the Saturn V rocket that had been developed, which is a series of stages of liquid propulsion that was designed to launch out of Earth orbit. That's really hard to do, just to lift off the pad, get into orbit, and then explode beyond that. But the realization was there wasn't sufficient power and sufficient thrust to actually get out of the outer atmosphere of the Earth. So the clever folks at the time decided they'd use some old school technology of centrifugal force to get launched, the hardest part, use multiple sequences of rockets that fell off along the way up. They crashed back down into the ocean or onto land, and then get into Earth orbit first. So stage A of transformational change is getting going, launching. Many of you are part of schools or organizations that have just taken on a brand new initiative. In many schools, it's project-based or inquiry-based learning. You're really moving into problem solving and creativity and innovation. You may be linking content and alternative assessment. You're doing all of this. You got going. For the rest of you, it's time, because the best thing about transformational change is once you get going, you've actually changed the whole direction of your school and where you might land for all your students. The other is you might actually get it right, because if we'd gone straight off and launched straight from Earth, we might have ended up way past the moon, out toward the sun and into the galaxy somewhere we don't even know where we are. So in transformational change, we take the first step and we launch. We get ourselves out of Earth orbit. And the good news is we might not miss our target. It takes 3 days for us to get to the moon under our current technologies. And the advantage of being out here in less gravity is we have the chance to use some little retro rockets that might guide our journey there. If we get it wrong, we can go a little right, we can go a little left, and when we get to the moon, we then can land and successfully meet our target. So part A is getting launched, and part B is making the mid-course corrections necessary that aim us toward our goal. That's part of transformational change that might not have been as documented, is making those mid-course corrections. Some of those mid-course corrections will be made by the next generation of leaders who aren't even here, because it might take us a couple years to get A right. It might take us a year on our way, and in that sense we might have a whole new generation of teachers and leaders in the school who need to pick this up and make it happen for their way as well. We'll also have a new generation of children to help guide. So first stage of transformational change is getting launched and out of orbit. The second is to actually make the corrections necessary along the way, and then step C is to cleverly find a way to relaunch and use what they did at the time was centrifugal force to make their way out of moon orbit when we create another goal. That goal could be back to the mothership, or it could be off to another moon or planet where we've taken the next goal. Stage A is getting launched. Step B is make the correction. Step C is reestablish a new goal. and use some even old school techniques and technologies to get us on our way there. So I can live with this understanding of technology and transformation in the 21st century, and I think my ability today was to try to show you I'm going to really encourage you to take that leap forward as well. Let's get going. Let's make the correction. Let's not wait. We can't let another generation of under or uneducated children leave our schools. There's actually nothing to do if someone leaves school under or uneducated. Any job that exists today that they might be taking will be automated if it hasn't already. They deserve to have us in launch sequence right now. So I look forward to working with you on the projects that we'll be working on related to this topic. Thanks very much for your attention, and we'll talk to you soon.